Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. I'm out at the Department of Ag Trade Consumer Protection. I'm here with Lara. Today we're talking about the census. 2020 census process is coming up, and we want to get out ahead of this from your standpoint, to educate the community about the census, but also to be prepared that there could be maybe some fraudsters, scams, that sort of thing. So this is going to be a good talk. Doesn't happen all the time, right? So it's a good reminder here. But first and foremost, the census itself. What is the census for?
That's a great question. So the census is a really important thing that happens every 10 years. And it is mandated by law that we fill it out. And it provides government data, state and federal, as well as businesses, critical data about our population. So funding issues are based on this data. How we are represented by Congress is based on this data. It's really, really important for fire departments, schools, all kinds of government entities make determinations about how to allocate funds and how to allocate resources based on the data they get from the census. So it's important that we engage, but it's also important that we avoid being scammed, because like we know, anytime something like this comes around, scammers tend to take advantage of it. And part of the reason this is really a great place for scammers is that lots of people come to your door. So on April 1st, they're going to start mailing out the surveys. You can fill these surveys out via phone, via email, or you can mail them in. If you don't do that, that's when you start getting visited by the U.S. government census workers. They can come to your house up to 6 times. So it's really important to be able to identify what a census worker looks like. They're about this tall. No, I'm kidding. No, they can be.
You say it so straight-faced too. I feel like I've got questions.
No. They come in all shapes and sizes. But what they all have in common, and should have, is a photo ID with the U.S. Department of Commerce watermark, a seal on it, and an expiration date. So you should ask for that. If somebody comes to your door and they say they're from the census, ask for that information. If you're concerned and you want to make sure that that's actually a census worker, it has a little ID number on it as well, you can call their phone number, which is 1-800-923-8282, and determine whether or not that census worker is an actual individual who's working for the government to fill this census out.
So they should be prepared to provide that information right away. So there shouldn't be any fumbling with that. They should understand. The census workers should understand that if you were to ask that. So they should be ready. If you're like me, I'll probably be a jerk if you come to the door if I don't know you. But they should be prepared to provide that.
Absolutely. And if you have any concern at all, like I said, call that 1-800 number, 1-800-923-8282. The other thing that is a good indicator of whether or not it's a census worker or a non-census worker are the questions they're going to be asking you.
My first and main question: What are they going to be actually asking you? Because this is probably what will define the scams here.
Absolutely. So I'm going to do what the kids do. I'm going to read off my phone so we don't get it right. So, so it's you can find these questions for yourself, and I encourage people to do it at 2020census.gov. 2020census.gov. But the questions they're going to ask are how many people are living and staying in your home on April 1st, 2020, whether the home is owned or rented, about the sex of each person in your home, about the age of each person in your home, and about the race of each person in your home, and whether the person is Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish in origin, and then the relationship to everybody that's living together in your home. Those are the questions. What they are not going to ask you is your Social Security number.
I was just going to say, I bet you the first one you'll say is Social Security number.
They will not ask you for that information. They will not ask you for financial information. They will not ask you anything about your politics. And they will not ask you anything about your citizenship. So, and a whole host of other things. But if someone starts asking you those questions, you do not need to engage. It could very well be a scam, particularly if they're asking for your Social Security number or financial information. So you should shut the door and report that. And you can also report a scam to that 1-800 number that I read already. And of course, you can report a scam to our department and we'll get it to the right people, and that's 1-800-422-7128.
Do we know from the past in Wisconsin, and that scamming's different throughout the years or whatever, but did we see a lot the last time go around of people being scammed during the census?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there's always opportunistic questioning around what your politics are and getting other information from you at this time. But it has been 10 years since the last time we did it. And as we know from talking with you, that these scammers are getting more and more sophisticated. So really be cautious and engage, because it's an important thing to engage in. It's our civic duty to do these things, and it's also the law. But use that 800 number in case you're concerned, to make sure that it is somebody you should be talking to. Or just fill the survey out when you get in the mail, and then you don't have to worry about the people that come to your door.
I was going to say, so this is what I would suspect is that we're, based on the scams that we talk about all the time, we're talking about looking for spoofing, phone call, people calling you, saying they're the U.S. government, whatever.
Right.
Could be by email, could be fake emails, could be fake letter, whatever. We've got to be vigilant.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then as far as reporting it goes, one more time, you can report it to the Census Bureau, the 1-800-923-8282, or we can report it here to DATCAP as well, and you'll be happy to help.
That's
and
right.
will you guys put out information then if we do start seeing an uptick in this? Will we get some information back from you guys, from your team?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We'll stay on top of it and let people know if we start seeing these kind of fraudulent census workers moving through our communities.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Looking forward to having you back in the new year if you'll have us.
Yeah, happy to do it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Perfect. We'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.